Hello, America, and welcome to Litter Media Live on this April 17th, 2024. You know, truly, we should probably say, hello, world. Just like when you were born, I'm sure you made that first announcement.
I didn't say anything about, wah!
Yeah, there was a smack on the bottom, and next thing you know, Mike became a broadcaster instantly.
Instant broadcaster.
But being on the World Wide Web, you know, hey, we are broadcasting to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, hello, world, and thank you for watching Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey. He's Mike Smith. Our producer, Aaron Glandon, is off camera. Mr. Hand 2, please make an appearance. Thank you.
You know, when you said, good morning, America, I thought I was sitting next to Paul Harvey.
Well, we'll save him for a sign-off.
Who's Paul Harvey?
Who's Paul Harvey?
I know Steve Harvey.
He amazes me every day with iconic figures that he knows nothing about.
I remember when Missy and I started dating.
I think you and I need to have a daily history lesson.
Keep in mind, my wife's brother at the time when we first met was like 9 or 10 years old. And I remember talking about the Beatles, and his question was, who were the Beatles?
I know the Beatles. I could name you the Beatles.
There was a gal that used to play basketball and volleyball at Adina. And we both knew her dad, and I mentioned the Rolling Stones, and she said, "Who's that?" And I looked at her dad, and I said, "Man, you failed." So the next time I saw her, I asked her a Rolling Stones question, and she knew the answer. So Dad good. Must have made up for that. Yeah.
Well, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Do you know who sang that?
No, but I know the Rolling Stones, the band. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't think they're that good.
They're only still rocking in their
500
80s.
million people would disagree with you, but that's okay.
They're overrated.
Yeah, overrated. Yeah. They're old right now, I can tell you that. Yeah.
Oh, geriatric rockers.
Yes, sir.
What a great subject for a show we could do sometime.
Geriatric rocker. It's amazing to see guys that are 80 years old still jumping around on the stage. I'm 64 and I can't do that.
Was it last week? I think Hart made an appearance on The Tonight Show.
I think it's
and Ann Wilson can still belt it out.
She's a singer. She has a beautiful voice. Yeah.
I like Hart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're
cousins. I think she and,
are they better than the they're sisters, aren't they?
You know, I thought
think
they
they're
were
sisters.
They're sisters,
but I'm not so sure that's right. We'll have to look that up before the end of the show. Yeah. Let's get to the weather.
Because he doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
He trusts Google more than he trusts me.
Well, there's something about that in the news today, too. So anyway, yeah. And not our news, but the fake news, yeah. Weather forecast. Yeah, we've had some rain this morning, and we might have some thunderstorms this afternoon. Mm-hmm. There's a possibility of some severe weather in some parts of Ohio. The National Weather Service sending out their alert map, and as you can see, the dotted circle, that's kind of the most endangered spot, and that's just a little north of Chillicothe, maybe parts of Pickaway County. So keep an eye on that this afternoon. If it is to occur, that would be primarily between 2 and 5 o'clock our time today. Looks a lot better tomorrow with sunshine and a high 76. Talking about temperatures dropping into the 50s for high for the weekend. Mm-hmm. And this is something that caught my attention. I thought it was kind of cute. Because of all the rain, we've had a story on this, I think, a month ago, that the Pickaway Soil and Water Conservation District, they have rain barrels for sale that you can collect rainwater. But I thought the meme on the left was pretty cute. Thank goodness it's raining again. My mud was getting dehydrated. There's a lot of it out there right now, folks. A lot of it.
Need to make sure it's nice and moist.
Yes, sir.
Ann Wilson's younger sister is Nancy Wilson.
And that's the lead singer. Or is Nancy the guitarist?
Nancy is the guitarist.
Okay.
Ann Wilson's the lead singer.
The blonde, in other words, if you didn't notice, she was holding a guitar in her hand. She was a looker, yes.
And she still is.
Yeah.
At 70, what is she, 73 now?
73.
Something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Still making it rock.
Making it rock.
I just wanted to make sure everything was.
I'm glad you
because I'm sure there's a heart or two fan that had been watching, and
well, a lot of people thought all the Beach Boys were brothers.
They might have missed all of your weather forecasts because they're
screaming.
Googling,
Heart.
They're screaming,
Heart.
There They're sisters, Mike.
Yeah.
How could you miss that?
Yeah, all the Beach Boys weren't brothers, so.
But Brian Wilson, is he of any relation?
To Nancy Wilson?
Yeah.
You know, I've never heard anybody talk about that.
That I'm not
Probably
not
not.
sure.
Mike Love was a cousin to the brothers, and Al Jardine wasn't related at all, so. And Bruce Johnston and so forth. And Glenn Campbell, when he filled in, he was no relation, so.
And John Stamos on drums.
You know, I saw him down in Florida, John Stamos, but not with the Beach Boys.
It wasn't drumming?
He was singing with it was Disney. He had some kind of a act that he was doing on one of the stages down there. I mean, we were like 2 football fields away. I didn't have any binoculars to see if it was really him, but that's who they introduced anyway.
I know that's John Stamos. I can tell.
Well, they said it was, so yeah.
I saw Lil Wayne in Target one time in L.A.
Is that right?
I think
Lil
so.
Wayne.
I think it was Lil Wayne.
I
kind of
think
looked
it
like
was, yeah.
Yeah. Now, a radio moment. This is back in my Sunny 95 days. I was with the real Bob Nutley, Big Bob.
Big Bob.
And he was emceeing the concert, but I was part of the check presentation that was being made to I think it was the United Way in Columbus.
Yeah.
And the Beach Boys were playing a concert at Cooper Stadium at the time for the Columbus Clippers. So the Clippers played a game, and then the Beach Boys were playing afterwards, and I was on stage with them holding this check while the presentation was being made. So that's my radio moment for today.
Do you remember how many of the original Beach Boys were actually there that night?
3 maybe?
Because I think through the late 80s and into the 90s, there was like literally 2 different Beach Boys bands, and they were going in different directions. So
It's kind of like the famous chicken from San Diego.
yeah, there's the fake chicken and the real chicken. Well, I've had some fake chicken before, yeah.
I had an interview with Ted Giannoulis. This was back in the 1980s. And I had a phone call from him later because there was a report in was it Tampa Sentinel? Orlando Sentinel, where he had double booked himself. So he had someone wear the chicken costume and fill in for him. And they were making a big deal about it. And he's like, can you help me with this story? And I'm like, I'm a radio announcer in Chillicothe, Ohio. How am I going to help you with a story down in Orlando, Florida? And so at any rate, that's the last time Ted and I actually talked.
When he appeared at Ohio University, Chillicothe, and I had a chance to interview him. But
what a show.
When he was there and we were broadcasting the game, I think I laughed 90% of the broadcast just looking at the dumb chicken and what he was doing. So.
I have not followed up to see where he is today, but I haven't seen the chicken make many appearances of late.
Funny guy.
But what a nice stretch of time he had.
Wow. He was great. He was great.
It all started with you could never miss those baseball highlights of a Padres game where he's, dying in the outfield somewhere. So it was really hilarious. So, boy, we haven't even gotten to the show yet really today. We've got news, we've got sports, and this date in history to share with you momentarily. But first, let's take a moment to tell you about the folks helping us to put all this fun and frivolity together. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Your trusted comfort advisor. For nearly 5 decades now, they've been taking care of comfort in your home and your business. If you're building a new building, they got that bank they're building downtown and everything and all that kind of stuff, you've probably seen the Accurate banner that's up there because they're helping to put in the cooling system and the heating system. They can do that for you too. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you right to their website, which is accuratehvac.com for accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Now that's one fast mower.
Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
That wasn't the Rolling Stones. That was Aerosmith, wasn't it?
Yes.
Dream On? Yeah.
Well, he also said "Come Together,"
Yes.
which was not them either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm messing with the guy.
Okay.
He doesn't know, so we're messing
That's
with
right.
him, right?
We're messing with it. Yeah.
Hey, it's Haynes Chiropractic, Physical Therapy and Nutrition.
They don't mess around.
You betcha. Haynes Total Healthcare Center. If you click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, it takes you to hayneshealth.com to get you better. Your health will be better by stopping by.
All right.
News time.
Shenandoah Telecommunications Company, or known as Shentel, has announced the rebranding of Horizon Telecom, or Horizon, to Glow Fiber. Horizon was acquired by Shentel earlier this month and provides fiber optic broadband services to commercial customers in Ohio and adjacent states, as well as residential customers in the markets of Chillicothe, Circleville, Lancaster, and Washington Courthouse. So a new corporate name here in Chillicothe.
Yeah, you think if Florence Joyner was involved, there'd be Flojo Fiber.
Flojo Fiber, yeah. Chillicothe Mayor Joe Solzer, boy, I'm going back into the 80s again with the Rolling Stones. Chillicothe Mayor Luke Feeney was on our special edition of Litter Media Live yesterday, and we talked about several different items, but among them, kind of a news story of late, whether or not the chief of staff position should be brought back. He talks about some of the history of that position.
10 plus years ago, when the city was going through some budget crunch times, that position, I think, was lost due to attrition and has been kept off the books in an effort to save money. And we've done what we can to get by without it. And there were several other similar positions. The elected auditor, has what would be similar to her chief of staff, which is a deputy auditor. We've added that position back in. Another position or office where positions were cut was the law director's office, and we've hired back those assistant law directors. So for me, the chief of staff, it's a key administrative position. It coordinates departments. It interacts with the community, and really is essential for the operations of a city our size, one that's looking to the future.
And if you missed that full interview, again, there were a number of other topics that we had with the mayor. You can go to Litter Media YouTube or Facebook. What else is it on, Aaron? Spotify. And, of course, Litter Media Radio, the audio portion of that, to get the entire interview. Ross County Post-Overdose Response Team has honored Walgreens pharmacist Bernard Kwanzaa with the Life Saver Award for his swift and decisive actions in administering Narcan and rendering aid to a visitor in his store back on March the 24th. Mr. Kwanzaa's actions played a crucial role in saving a life by administering Narcan and rendering aid to a person who suffered from an overdose. And this young man gave me a vaccination.
Is that right?
Last fall. So congratulations to him.
I don't know Kwanzaa, but there's a number of people that I did know in that picture.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them around.
All righty.
The Ohio Supreme Court, I do not know these people personally, has declined to hear the appeal of the Mound Builders Country Club in Newark that clears the way for a valuation trial to determine how much the Ohio History Connection would have to pay to take the golf course by eminent domain. Now, when the trial begins over the value of Mound Builders Country Club's lease on the Octagon Mounds, the country club won't have any witnesses there since a lower court ruling in Licking County found in a pretrial ruling against all expert testimony provided by the country club's witnesses about the valuation. So in essence, basically, if they say it's worth $20,000 or $20 million, they won't have a witness there to be able to testify to that.
Right.
So it's now basically in the Ohio History Connections court to say, we think it's worth $2 million.
Yeah.
And
of course, the courts will have the final say.
Right, yeah.
But this obviously has a bearing on the folks here at Hopewell, too.
Precisely, and this all is what has been the hang-up, I think, really, for the World Heritage designation. So finally, that inscription's been taken care of, and so we'll see the ball moving on this before too long. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Real Estate and Professional Licensing encourages first-time home buyers to take advantage of April being Fair Housing Month by becoming acquainted with federal and state fair housing laws. First-time home buyers accounted for 33% of market activity here in Ohio last year.
And our road report today goes back to Jackson County. Monday, of course, is April the 22nd. That's when resurfacing project is beginning on State Route 93 in Jackson County between Zane Oak Road and the Lawrence County line. At least one lane will be maintained for the duration of the project, which should be through the summer months.
Look at the roundabouts. I saw that Asheville's getting a roundabout.
Is that right?
Yeah, part of the
that.
part of the ODOT plans and everything.
Wow.
And so, there's discussion in the plan for North Bridge Street, that in front of the Walmart Norse dealership interchange. That's going to become a roundabout, as well. Okay. So. We'll see that over the next couple of years. We had a conversation yesterday that will be produced and presented to you on our YouTube channel and here on Facebook as well with Michaela Bruning yesterday of ODOT here in District Number 9. So we talked about several projects going on. So we'll share that for you in the next 36 hours or so. All right. Sports is on the way in just a moment. And we got a little girl from Paint Valley making a big trip up to Chicago this weekend. We'll explain that and more coming up. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to reach Scioto Valley Dumpsters. For a dumpster for your home or your business or whatever project you've got going on, they can help you out. Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait. Which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
While they're playing some pickup basketball there, we've got a young lady from Paint Valley who's making her way to Chicago to shoot hoops as well. It's the National Elks Hoot Shoot Competition. And 9-year-old Ainsley Weaver from Paint Valley, she's a fourth grader there. She finished atop the local, the state, and regional competitions the last few months, and now she is on to the nationals as she prepares and has her big sister helping her out with the rebounding there too. You can follow along with her progress. We're going to try and do that as well. They'll have a live stream on the National Hoops page. We'll try and share that for you here on our Facebook page, but the link for it is in the story if you want to go to our website, littermedia.com, to find out more. Wonderful family, very humble, and I know in talking with her dad, he said it's been really neat hearing all the support she's been getting from people around their church and around school and everything else, and even the Lady Bearcats did a big push for her and everything when she went to the regionals and all, so pretty cool. So congratulations, Ainsley, and you'll do well. And welcome to the Big Windy.
Track and field last night, the Zane Trace Invitational. Our Aaron Glandon was out there, and Aaron put together a number of photos that people can find. Also,
they're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
you can go look at those.
This is just one of the photos he got. Of course, this is our website feature photo. By the way, Zane Trace Boys and Uniota Girls won team championships. You can get the full rundown of all of the teams and how they finished. I think the boys had 12 teams. Or no, the girls had 12 teams. The boys had 13 teams in that meet out there last night.
It was hot out there.
Probably the best weather they've had this spring to run, which means the times were much better. Distances for throwing, jumping, whatever, were a lot better. I was talking to Bryson Smith of Adina, who was one of the medalists last night, at the softball game the other night, and he said, our times have been terrible because it's been so cold and windy. So last night they had almost optimal conditions out
Imagine
there.
that temperature on the track was probably in the hundreds.
I was walking around. I had to keep wiping my forehead off because it was getting sweaty.
Well, maybe you need to cut your hair.
That might be true.
Sound like my dad. Last night in baseball and softball, big one for SVC. They had 3 makeup baseball games last night. Zane Trace stays undefeated in the conference, beating Adina 14-4. Uniota stays 2 back with a 15-0 win over Paint Valley. And Huntington, who's kind of opened some eyes for folks this year, they were a winner over Westfall. Kind of a big win for Chillicothe baseball last night, edging Washington 4-3. Miami Trace and Jackson were also winners. Bloom Carroll, baseball winner over Tays Valley. And then over on the softball side, Adina, Huntington winners, McLean, Chillicothe, Hillsboro. Circleville beat Logan Elm in that big rivalry. Tays Valley blanked Bloom Carroll 6-0. I think Lady Vikings had an earlier loss in conference, which is like the first one since 2021, but they've bounced back. And last night in boys volleyball, the Chillicothe Cavaliers beat Grove City in straight sets. They play against Uniota tonight, and then on Monday, April the 29th, they will travel to Westfall to play, I think they call it the SCOL Volleyball League, and that will be for their league championship that night.
Forgive me for coughing up a lung just a moment ago. I pictured Mark Smith saying you need to cut your hair.
He said that a number of times. We were called Beatles and hippies, and if just a hair touched my ear. So
Reds stayed up with them last night yet again. This time they had bases loaded and an opportunity to tie or take the lead. It did not happen. And 3-1 final there last evening. If they could keep runners off the base paths, that would help their cause. They'll conclude that series today, trying to avoid the sweep. Andrew Abbott. No. Is it Andrew Abbott? The Abbott kid?
Well, Green pitched and Montos pitched.
Abbott's pitching. I can't remember if his first name's Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were just lost on the pitch.
Abbott's the pitcher for the Reds today. Gotcha. And the Guardians beat Boston yet again. They had to come from behind to do this, I believe. 10-7, the final there. And the Blue Jackets wrap up with a 6-3 win. They poured it on last night. And here's how you start 2025.
Absolutely.
With a score like that. And they, of course, will put the season in mothballs. But and they also put Jeff Reimer into mothballs as well. As he,
last game broadcast.
Has he been the announcer on TV since they started?
That I can't answer, but I know he has said that he's been in broadcasting for like 50 years.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Long time.
But I know like George Matthews was the original radio voice, but I can't remember if Jeff is the original TV voice.
Right.
But congratulations on your retirement, and good luck to you there, too. All right, this stage in history is coming up, and the Litter Media Wayback Machine takes us to
Houston. We have a problem.
Oh my!
1970.
All right, details just ahead. But first,
you want to check out the custom color tanks. I know I haven't seen any of these in recent years, but I know when I first came on board here a few years ago, Dan talked a lot about that. You can find out how a propane tank can be beautiful with a custom wrap. LitterPropane.com. You can get more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-0000. 9652. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Visit ChillicotheOhio.com for the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. 1970 for this date in history.
I believe I was 10. I hadn't reached my 11th birthday yet.
I was 7.
With the world anxiously watching Apollo 13, a U.S. lunar spacecraft that suffered a severe malfunction on its journey to the moon safely returns to Earth. And no, that's not Tom Hanks.
I thought Tom Hanks was on the Apollo 13.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Jim Lovell that's on the bottom there. Mm-hmm. But if you've ever seen the movie Apollo 13, I believe it's supposed to be the ship's captain that Tom Hanks is shaking hands with, and that's the real Jim Lovell in the movie. That's the only role that he had as himself.
There was so much concern because of accidents and things that had happened, and then boom, here we've got these guys on their way to the moon, and they got a problem. How are we going to bring them back?
Right.
And so there was so much discussion about how to get the trajectory back around, shutting this off and that, and so on and so forth. And when you look at how things were built back then, you ask yourself, how on earth did they even make it into space?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the things that they had to come up with on the fly, when they had those engineers, they just sent them to a room and said, come up with something that'll work like the air filter. I mean, just brilliance at its best. These guys knew what they were doing, and certainly made America proud. I think what the Tom Hanks line at the end, they called it the successful failure or something like that, because obviously they failed getting to the moon, but they brought them back. But literally the whole world was praying for those guys to make it back, and they did.
And how often have we heard people who have made it successfully failed time and time again prior to whatever it was that they finally found that success? Not everybody's an instant success.
Yeah.
There's a lot of failure along the way.
Some guy named Abraham Lincoln lost, I think, almost every election before his election to Congress and someplace called the White House.
It was Henry Ford had like 780 some models before the Model A or T came out, whichever the one was the success.
Well, and Edison, I think, had over 10,000 failures trying to create the incandescent light bulb.
Yeah.
Which his famous quote was, I haven't failed that many times. I've just figured that many times that's not how you make a light bulb.
Yeah.
But he finally got it together too. So
that's really cool. Good to see.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Coming up tomorrow, do we have a special event?
Not till Friday morning.
Friday morning. Okay, we'll be talking about the New York City Marathon on Friday morning. And coming up next week, we're going to have special guests in from the Gus Macker. And when I say special guests, we're going to see the Gus Macker mascot here Monday.
Wow.
So you don't want to miss that. But they are continuing with registration through this weekend. Early registration comes to a close on Monday, the 22nd. They may have additional information to share with us there. And if you're a licensed basketball official, they're looking for you. And Dr. Sheila Gray messaged me this morning and says, we're paying $250 for the 2-day event for licensed officials. So you're not being asked to volunteer your time to officiate. All right. Okay. Get more details at macker.com. That's it for the program. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.